A beloved cliche in film is that the sports star or the sports team will win the big game. But sometimes there's more than just the sports in those films. So here's 4 great sports films that aren't about sports. First up is the 2011 sports comedy film, Goon. From what I remember, this film was ridiculous in all the best ways. Sean William Scott plays a kind, sweet boy who can beat the absolute shit out of people. The story follows the pretty standard sports movie, but the action, the comedy, and the performances, as well as having a sincerely nice person as your lead character, makes it a really enjoyable film experience. And again, from what I remember, it's more character driven than it is about hockey. So even though it might not be for everyone, I do recommend it because I know that me and my cousin Nathan watched it and we were cracking up laughing. I mean, yeah, it was, 9 years ago, but it was good. Next up is Basketball. I love this movie. I mean, it's like a live action version of South Park. And yeah, it's dumb and cliched at parts, but it's also clever and hilarious at other parts. And it's just one of those movies that if you were a fan of South Park growing up, then that's just one of those things that you had to see. Like, hey, it's the guys who made South Park, I better check it out. And although the game itself that they invent in the movie is fun, it's not really about sports at all. I mean, really, the film just capitalized on the popularity of South Park because it was explosive at the time. And I really wish there would have been more live-action adventures with Trey Parker and Matt Stone. But oh well, I guess we'll have to settle for one of the longest-running cartoons that is still solidly funny. Boo-hoo for us. And I have to mention the actor Dion Bachar, I believe is his name, in Basketball, who plays Squeak. He is one of the best characters. He's a tiny little man, and God bless his soul. He's a sweet boy. One of the best scenes in the movie is about how much they make fun of him, even though he does help them out, and he doesn't. You kind of wonder why he's actually hanging out with them. Squeak, you're a little bitch. I'm not a little bitch. But you're a piece of shit. I'm not a piece of shit. Yeah, but you're still a little bitch. Third up is a masterpiece, Rocky IV. Check it out! This film has everything a fan of hero sagas could ever ask for. From a futuristic robot to single-handedly ending the Cold War, Rocky IV is a sight to behold. On film before Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Hercules, and even Dragon Ball Z, this story shows how the hero has grown in power, allies, and notoriety. But now Rocky must avenge a fallen brother, avoid a nuclear holocaust, and face a foe more powerful than anything he's ever faced before. Everything is at stake. This is the end game. All jokes aside though, this film does have some hidden gems of insight from Adrian of all people. Like, she's right about everything in this film. She's the voice of reason. I feel like if Rocky hadn't had her support, he actually would have lost. She goes through the film pointing out all the flaws of the turn of events happening, and she's right about it. But Rocky is more concerned with the aftermath of him not doing anything about this. And it creates an interesting opposition between the two characters, because she's always believed in him, he's always had her support, but now it's at a point where she doesn't think he can actually win because he's not trying to win for himself or some noble cause, he just wants revenge. But the way that Rocky sees it is that he has to avenge Apollo Creed and that he has to go farther than he's ever gone before. So really, he is testing himself yet again, but this time he has a purpose. So it's an interesting thing because they're both right, but a lot of this could have been avoided. I think that's the problem, is that it kind of touches on the human aspect of hubris and revenge. Not to mention the not subtle aggression and escalation of the Cold War, kind of the theme. So yeah, he fights not really for revenge, it's more he's fighting for everything he holds dear. And it does kind of become the very obvious America versus Soviet Russia, which, whatever. It's goofy, yet unironically beautiful with his speech at the end. You can change, and I can change. We can all change. 2 guys killing each other in the ring is better than 20 million. Amen, Naraki. Amen. Namaste. Last up is the film Varsity Blues. Boy howdy. I didn't actually watch this film until about 2018 maybe? 2017, 2018? It's mostly because I always thought the film was just a dumb teenage comedy film, like American Pie or some shit. So I always was like, nah, I don't need that. But then I finally watched it and I was very, very surprised. Pleasantly surprised. In fact, I actually kind of love this movie now. Yeah, it's disguised as a teen sports comedy, but it's really about so much more. To me, it seems like it's really about not being bullied into following a life path that everyone and everything around you is pushing you towards, that you have to go your own way. James Van Der Beek leads an excellent cast into the life of a small town and how they exist and how there are layers underneath that. Stripper teacher, an abusive coach, whipped cream as a cry for help. That Chris Evans? But yeah, it has everything, including a soundtrack that actually kicks ass. It really fits the film. Even if you're not into that kind of music, it perfectly fits the film. And it's not saying that you can't enjoy the life that you live. You can live your simple small town life, that's fine. Or you can reach for something more. Either way, you should always follow your dreams, but always take some time to have a little bit of fun and relax. Maybe toss the ball around.